Welcome to Terry's Kitchen, where we talk food, faith, and family. So today we are going to be making a delicious salad, and I'm going to be making a vinaigrette. But before we do that, I would like to read today's devotion that we had, and it was out of Jesus Calling. Trusting me is a moment-by-moment choice. My people have not always understood this truth after I performed miracles in the wilderness. My chosen children trusted me intensely, but only temporarily. Soon the grumbling began again, testing my patience to the utmost. Isn't it often the same way with you? You trust me when things go well, when you see me working on your behalf. This type of trust flows readily within you, requiring no exertion of your will. When things go wrong, your trust flow slows down and solidifies. You are forced to choose between trusting me and intentionally or rebelling, resenting my ways with you. This choice constitutes a fork in the road. Stay on the path of life with me, enjoying my presence. Choose to trust me in all circumstances. And thank you, Lord. I truly trust you for our lives and our future. Thank you so much. All right, thank you for letting me read the devotion. I'm going to clean my hands and let's get started. So as I mentioned today, I started our teapot. I am going to be making a salad and a vinaigrette. Last week I saw a dear friend of mine, a nurse that was at the hospital, Mary Beth, and she's been watching our cooking shows. And she said, Terry, she said, why don't you put a salad or some type of dressing on there? She said, I'm getting tired of the same old thing. So, Mary Beth, here's to you. We're going to have a salad and a vinaigrette. And I'm super excited for our salad fixings because this morning I went to the Winchester Spring Valley Market and they had my heirloom tomatoes. I was super excited and got some other vegetables. So I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly, but let's make a vinaigrette. Now, just to let you know, vinaigrettes have kind of been a little bit intimidating to me. So I started playing around today, and I used Ron as a guinea pig to try some of the recipes. It's a lot easier when you make things for yourself and you goof up, but if I'm on film, I don't want to goof up for you all. So what I have here, and I have a 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. And I'm going to pour it in my mixing bowl here. So then I'm going to add, I have a teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, coarsely sea salt. And then I have 1 shallot clove. Now a shallot is similar to an onion. If you do not have a shallot, don't worry, you can certainly use just a little bit of onion. This is probably maybe a 1.5 tablespoons, or you could use garlic. But I had a shallot that I needed to use, and I did not use the whole shallot. I just used like 1 of the cloves of that. So I chopped that up kind of coarsely, not real fine. And I have here, I love orange marmalade. Ron's not a real big fan, but I thought I'm going to try orange marmalade in this vinaigrette today. So that is 2 tablespoons of orange marmalade. And if you don't have orange marmalade in your refrigerator, that's okay. A vinaigrette is kind of like, you know, most anything that you make, you need to make it your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of whisk this together before I add the olive oil. With vinaigrettes that I've noticed, Aunt Louise, Ron's aunt, used to make one, and she just did red wine vinegar and olive oil and some fresh garlic. So that was very simple. She had a little salt and pepper. You could certainly use, also made a different one with using the orange marmalade, but also use stone ground mustard. So that's mixed up in there. So I'm going to slowly add a half a cup of olive oil, and because we want this to emulsify. As soon as I get all this in, I'll put a little more to the whisk. And as you see, I have a jar, glass jar, a little mason jar, that I'm going to just put that in and shake it a little more to get a little more emulsification. And I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what I'm saying. And then I had, because I'm using things around the house, I had some clementines that needed to be used. They were starting to get a little wilty on the outside. So this is the juice from 2 clementines. So if you have orange juice that you want to put, this is 2 tablespoons. You can certainly use orange juice. If you have an orange that you want to juice, this was 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to pour that in. Give it a little more whisk. I'm going to grab a spoon and give it a little taste here. See if I need to add something else. Oh, that's good. That is good. And I think the longer that sits, the better it'll be. You can keep a vinaigrette in your refrigerator for about 3 days in the jar. If you don't put the shallots and the black pepper in it, you could keep it a little bit longer, but you don't want those shallots to get really strong in there. Okay, I'm going to pour our vinaigrette into this jar and set that aside. I'll put a lid because just before we drizzle it over our salad, we'll give it a shake. Okay, let me get this out of the way. And I want to bring forward these wonderful vegetables. So I have a cucumber, and again, I got my vegetables at the Winchester Spring Valley Market, and I was super excited. These cucumbers, I've been waiting for the cucumbers, and I've been waiting for the heirloom tomatoes. I went in there today, and it was like, all right, I'm super excited. So I have cucumbers, I had a red bell pepper that I cut, and last week, well, towards the end of the last week, I also got a bunch of carrots from the market there. And so I went to the refrigerator this morning. I knew that I had those on hand, so I didn't get those. But I certainly, the cucumbers, the heirloom tomatoes, and our super greens. So with in the super greens, there's kale, Swiss chard, and there's some spinach in here as well. And you could use these super greens for a stir fry. But I wanted, when I saw the tomato and the cucumbers, I wanted, Ron and I are going to have a salad here in a little bit. And so I wanted to mix up this salad. So I'm going to add, because I like to layer and make things look appealing as far as color, I'm going to put the carrots that I just shredded, used a shredder, because the greens are kind of thick and bulky. I didn't want chunks of carrots. I just wanted the grated carrots. So we're going to build on that flavor, the color of the way it looks. We're going to add, I only used a half of a red pepper. And then I'm going to add these wonderful cucumbers. Oh my word. For the middle of April, to get a cucumber that tastes like a cucumber is wonderful. I got a whole bag of cucumbers. I got a bunch of tomatoes. And I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. Or we both are. So, and lastly, I'm going to add this beautiful tomato. I didn't grab my knife. I apologize about that. I have this wonderful little tomato knife and can't find it in the drawer. So with the heirloom tomatoes that they had a whole area designated for the tomatoes. So what I do before I put it into the salad, I cut it in half. And again, as you can tell, I like a chunky salad. I'm going to just cut them in large chunks. My gosh, I see a tomato sandwich in my future very, very shortly too. So, because I don't want to waste any of that, and that is actually our meal for today. I know that looks like a lot of salad for two, but we can do it. So let me cut this section. Does that not look fantastic? Oh my. So I'm going to sprinkle that in there. Clean up a little bit of my tomatoes here. I'm going to bring this. I've got, there is salt and pepper in our vinaigrette. I did not, normally I use purple onion or red onion, whichever you call, for my salads. But because I have the shallots in the dressing, I didn't want to overpower the salad. But I have probably a teaspoon of ground black pepper and a half a teaspoon of the sea salt that I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. May not use the whole because I like a lot of pepper. And I'm just going to toss this around for a little bit, get that salt and pepper moved around. Okay. And the longer your vinaigrette sits, the better it will be. So I'm going to give it a shake and pour a little bit over it. I don't want to overpower the wonderful taste of those vegetables. So I don't want to put a lot of vinaigrette. But I'm going to pour some over and then toss the salad some more. Okay. Give it a toss. And you see, as far as the greens here, because they're bulky, I don't want them to, I had to have my other vegetables nice and chunky, and that's okay. Oh, I tell you, oh, the smell of that tomato, those cucumbers, the vinaigrette, this is going to be very tasty, Ron. Okay. Put some here, and I'll dip some up here. See how gorgeous that looks. Now you don't want to put your vinaigrette on too soon because you don't want it to wilt your greens. Okay, now I'm going to dip Ron up some. Boy, I didn't get any of my utensils out today, so I apologize. I'm just going to give a taste here. I'm going for the tomato. Oh my word. That heirloom tomato is so sweet. And look how beautiful that looks in the bowl. So what a delicious lunch for us, or even added to your evening meal. So I hope you would consider making this. Have fun with your vinaigrettes, your salads. Make them, colorful and whatever you like in them. I want to thank you for viewing our video today. If you like the videos and you go to Terry's Kitchen on YouTube, hit subscribe, like, share with your family and friends. We certainly love cooking, and I love that you're coming into our kitchen virtually. So blessings.